In previous videos we've shown how you can use the list control in a UX component to display a menu of available choices, and we've also shown how you can use CSS icons to dress up the list, and how then you can also select a predefined list menu from the predefined control section in the UX component. In this example we'll show a more fully fleshed out example of a mobile UX component where the list control is used as a menu. The list control has icons, and we've created what's called a split view, which is a very common pattern in mobile applications. So you can see here when we're on a tablet and there is sufficient room, the list control is displayed on the left hand side, displaying the menu, and the right hand side is the work area. So when I make different selections from the list, the panel that is active in the right area, in the work area, is updated. So the list here is basically setting the active panel in this work area. But as I resize my browser, actually I don't need to do that, let me just go here and change this to say iPhone 4. Now I can see that I have the same component now, but because there isn't sufficient room to display the menu and the work area at the same time, the menu is now hidden, and this button has been displayed automatically to reveal the menu. So if I go there, you can see, so it still behaves in the exact same way, excepting that the menu now is initially hidden and is displayed by tapping on the icon, and then hidden by tapping on the icon, or is hidden by just tapping anywhere on the screen. Now, another convention that is common in mobile apps is that you can reveal the menu either by tapping on the icon or by just swiping on the screen. So you can see that a swipe to the right reveals the menu, and it's a little hard on this simulator here, but a swipe to the left is going to hide the menu. So let's go back to the UX Builder now and see how this was built using a predefined template. So we'll go now to our UX Builder over here. We have an empty UX component, and then we'll just go to the control section, and there inside panels you can see we have something here called quick panels, and then we can either just choose one of these here or go here and say insert predefined panels. And for example here, the last one tells us that this is a more complete starting point than the split view basic, which is defined over there. So let's go ahead here and choose that. So we're going to insert the split view with icons and panels, and you can see now that our component got inserted. So here are the controls. There we are in tablet mode. There we are in phone mode. There's our menu. And let's go now and take a look behind the scenes at what was actually done over here. So you can see here that what we've done is we've created a panel layout that contains two panels, a menu panel and then a navigator panel. And the navigator panel, the so-called master panel here, contains a panel card for each item in our menu, and also a panel card which is the home screen, which just contains text that is displayed on startup before the user has made any choice from any of the menus. So the basic structure is pretty simple. It's just a panel layout with two panel cards. So in order to cause the menu to hide, what we've done on this panel navigator, which is the second panel in this panel layout here, we've set a minimum size of 500 pixels. So because the minimum size requirement is met on a tablet, the menu panel is shown, but on a phone that minimum size requirement is not met, so therefore the menu panel is hidden. So let's pause now and pick this up in the next video. So we're continuing now with our discussion about the predefined split view controls. So you can see here that again, because the minimum size of this master panel has been set to 500 pixels, when we go here to phone mode, the minimum size requirement was not met, so therefore the menu panel was hidden so that as much space as possible could be devoted to the master panel. So now let's go take a look at the actual menu list itself. We can see here that this is just a static list control, and the data in the list has three columns: the menu name, which is what appears in text on that list, the image that we'd like to display, and we can see here we're using images from the Font Awesome library. We can easily go and change the image by clicking on the Insert Edit CSS icon button, and then here's just the name of the action that we'd like to execute when that particular menu item is selected. Then we've gone to the image column and we've set the control type to CSS icon. Then what we've done is we've set the layout type to freeform, and then in our freeform layout we have the image followed by the menu name. Then in our on-click event, what we're going to do is set the active panel to the name of the action. So we've defined panels called Action 1, Action 2, Action 3, etc. So this is going to give focus to the panel that corresponds to the menu action that was selected. And then what we want to do is we want to hide the menu if it was shown in a flyout. So we get pointed to the panel layout 1, and then we hide the docks, which means this is in effect we dock the panels, and then we put some text into a div in the panel header just saying what action was selected. So if we go back now and we look here at the panel header here, we can see that this panel header contains a div, and the ID of the div is the component alias followed by app panel header. So this is where we're going to be writing the text. Now in order to get this menu panel to actually hide, what we've also done is we've set the dock state of this menu panel to be auto collapse before, and we've also given it a fixed width of 200 pixels. So this is what caused the menu panel to be initially hidden. So when we go ahead now and we run it, tap this, that shows the panel. Now in order to make this button do its work, you can see that what we've done is we've defined a button over here, and we've given the button a name of images.dialog.menu. So that's just an abstract image name which points to the appropriate icon in the style that you're currently using. So in this case, since we're using the iOS 7 style, it's going to use a CSS icon. But if I was just using the older iOS style, which doesn't use CSS icons, then it would have just used a standard bitmap. So let's pause now and then continue in the next video. So we're continuing now our description of the split view predefined component. So let's go back now to controls, and now we'll go to the panel layout here, and we'll see here that we've defined a docked panel controller button. So the docked panels are obviously, in this case there's only one docked panel, and this is the menu panel that displays our menu. And if we go here, and this panel has initially been docked because recall that we selected for this panel auto collapse before. So going back to the panel layout, we can see now that what we've done here is we specified that the button called menu button, and that's this button over here. You can see it has an ID of menu button. So we've specified that when the user taps on the menu button, it's gonna, let's just bring up the builder here, that when we tap on menu button, it's going to show the panel called menu panel if that panel is currently docked. If the panel is not docked, then the button will not be shown, and therefore the user won't be able to tap on it. So this dock panel controller over here automatically causes this button over here to reveal this menu panel if it was currently docked. Then the next thing to notice is that you can see here that the panel header has been set to center its content. So therefore when we run the component here, we can see that panel header has been centered in the panel header, but the button itself is displayed in the top left corner. So we can see now if we go back to the panel header here, so the panel header starts there and ends over there. So the button itself has been wrapped in a container, and the container has been given a style of position absolute, top 0, left 0, padding 3 pixels. So this is causing the button to be displayed in the top left corner with a padding of 3 pixels around it, even though the panel header itself is centering all of its contents. So this inline style here causes the button's position to override the centering that the panel header itself has defined. So that's how we got this button to appear in the top left hand corner. Now this component is going to work nicely with different styles. So let's go now and change this to iOS, and if we go and run it now, we can see that now we have a standard iOS look, and now we're using a bitmap icon for the menu. And now let's go and choose, say, Android dark, and run our component, and you can see there's our Android dark view. And then let's go switch to iPad vertical, so you can see basically we now have a nice Android look. And now let's finally switch to Android light, and then go ahead now and preview this. So here's our Android light, and then of course go back to the phone view, and there's the phone view. So what we've shown over here is that by selecting from the predefined quick panels here, choosing the split view icon with panels, you can get a really quick start on a mobile application. And then all that you really need to do to customize this is go and customize the items in the menu over here, and then put real controls in each of these panel cards over here. Thanks very much for watching.